Hey guys, just going live here briefly. I actually can only stay for about 15 minutes, so I thought I'll pop in. I miss you. I haven't been going live here every day like I used to, and I'm supposed to go tonight on Instagram, or so I decided. I'm gonna go Monday live here, Tuesday Instagram, Wednesday here, Thursday Instagram, Friday here. But I kind of miss you much more here, and just going live because I promised myself that next time I feel like shit, that I would actually share instead of holding it in me. And I wanted to tell you that this is true for most of us. I think probably for all of us. If you've been through, shit at any time in your life, and especially if a kid, if you've been through any kind of abuse, if you've experienced any kind of violence, emotional, physical, sexual, it always stays with you, this feeling of being like a piece of shit, being like nobody, like nothing, like just the most awful human being. And it hit me today. Every single time I think, oh, I'm cured from it, I don't really have those days anymore, I'm healed, blah, blah, blah. It happens every single time. I think that I'm fully healed, I'm happy. It just hits me out of nowhere. So it did hit me today. And I always feel the energy from you guys so much more. So I wanted to thank you for being here for me, like right now, joining, because I feel like I'm not alone. And I'm all brave and making you all these videos. But when it hits me, I feel awful. If you can relate, probably a lot of you can relate. You just feel like nothing good is ever going to happen. Like there's no point in continuing living. It's not exactly, oh, hey, if you're new, yeah, this is not my usual life, you guys. I'm only staying for about 15 minutes. And usually tonight I go live on my Instagram. So you can go follow me on Instagram, but I can't tonight. So I missed you so much. And I promised myself that next time I feel like shit, I'll go on to show you that we're all there, and I have, most of my days are really good now, but today it really kind of got at me. Hey there. Yeah, hold on just a second. Manage and, any kind of comment like that, like, will you be my TikTok wife? Gone, blocked. Not tolerated here. This is a safe place. So if you guys see any kind of weird behavior, just alert me, because those people will be gone immediately, like not even blinking. But yeah, so just if you're having a shitty day, if you had those, I guess give me a hug and I'll give you a hug back. I'm trying to understand where it's coming from. I think maybe it's from this video that I posted earlier, because I do those QA videos, and somebody asked me, how did I begin to remember? Because I've blocked out, hi, Shimi Polkaru, I'm only here for about 15 minutes. You're really welcome. So the way I remembered about my father, I blocked it out most of my childhood. And somebody asked me this question, and I posted a video. And every single time, you guys, when I go back into a memory like this, it hits me. And on the rest of the day, I cry for no reason. I feel awful. Like there's this awful feeling. Can you relate to this when you're not even sure why you exist, or why you're eating food, and why even doing anything makes any sense? Yeah, I love you all very much back. So I just wanted to share this, that you're not alone. I have these days too. So it made me remember. And that's, guys, those of you who can't remember, that's the reason why we don't remember. Because every single time I go back into that, I literally become dysfunctional. Like I can't lift my leg or my arm. I just sit and I turn to stone. I don't know if any of you can relate to that. You have the same probably, or similar. I'm completely disoriented. I don't know what I'm doing. Everything seems to be falling apart. I seem to be overwhelmed and underwhelmed at the same time, if it makes any sense. So that's what happened to me today. Because the way I remember it at first, as a child, when you're sexually abused, you replace your abuser with somebody else, or sometimes an animal. That's pretty typical, because you just cannot fathom that a parent or somebody close to you can turn you into an object and hurt you in such a way, right? So you pretend it's somebody else. It's easier to survive. So I pretended, and a lot of kids pretend, that the person is an animal or like a monster or somebody, completely different, not your parent, not your father. It's not as often with mothers, but with fathers, most commonly abuse sexually their kids. So that's what you would imagine. So I imagined a wolf. It was like a dog, but it was like a big, kind of like a black wolf. Yeah, have you had similar? And then, guys, that wolf became kind of like a bear or a gorilla. I actually had, my grandmother had like an extensive library, and I read 1001 Nights. Can you imagine a 6-year-old kid, 7-year-old kid reading 1001 Nights? Totally R-rated, like completely not good. But he had this story in there about the black gorilla, like this huge gorilla with fur falling on this woman. Any of you have read 1001 Nights fairy tales? They're like full of sex and full of completely stuffed content that was not good for like a 6-year-old to read. However, I've experienced that as a kid and I didn't understand. I was like, what is that? What is it that's happening to me? And all of a sudden I was like, oh, it's not my father, it's a gorilla. So in my mind, I replaced him with that image of that gorilla, black furry beast. So then later when I had panic attacks, that black furry beast, the fur started falling off. If any of you can relate to this, tell me. I know that this is how most of us remember. If you tell this to people who don't know, they think we're crazy. Well, this is not possible, but it is possible. And we are not crazy. This is how our brain remembers, because we suppress reality and we create imaginary reality, helps us survive. And that is what we remember. We think it's a real memory because it is so vivid in our brains. So next I remembered that fur melted into paint, into like black paint. So there was this naked man covered in black paint walking around, and I couldn't see his face, because he was covered with this goo or whatever that was. Exactly, like a goblin, right? Okay, and then slowly that paint started sloughing off, and that's when I had like one of my most severe panic attacks. My ex-husband saw me through it. He's a dear friend. We're no longer married, but without him, I don't know. I thought I was dying. I literally couldn't breathe. I was in bed. He leaned over me, and it was just the exact position of what my father did to me by accident, and it just hit me all at once. And that paint came off, and I saw my father's face. So, and then my body and my mind connected, if it makes any sense. It's like, the body and the mind connected into one. And then it felt true. Like my body was like, oh, this is true. Is similar? Yeah. So do you see what I mean? And that's when I remembered that I knew. It was like what my body felt. My body was suddenly, thank you. Because my mind was like, no, it can't be. But my body's like, but please listen. So that's what I'm saying is that video, I made it for you. And I went back into that and I was like, wow, I'm out for a whole day. Like all my day felt like shit. And I'm better at coping now. I know what I need to do to cope, and I've done all of those things. I went and I sat in the sun. I just did my ballet practice. I'm still in my leotard and I feel better. But man, I'm telling you, every single time, guys, you go back into that darkness, holy shit, it's fucking awful. I mean, oh my God. It's like, any of you guys have seen the movie The Road? Or did you read the Road, the book The Road, by Cormac McCarthy? Do you remember, for those of you not to spoil, I don't know if you're going to watch it, it's pretty dark. Do you remember that scene when they go into a house and they go down into, no, you haven't seen the movie? Okay, so it's about apocalypse. It's the end of the world. And it's a father and a son, and they walk along the road. And all animals and all plants are dead. So, the road, like a road. So, can you imagine if all plants and animals are dead, what do people eat? Right? If all plants and all animals are dead, what do people eat? Yeah, people eat other people. So, that's what the movie is about, is like this son, this boy with his father, and his father is doing everything possible for them not to become cannibals, to somehow survive and find food or something somewhere on the road. And then they find this house, and other people are eating other people, obviously. And so they hear noises in the kitchen. There's a floor opening, and they go down into the cellar under the kitchen. Oh, the book is called The Road. Hold on. I'm gonna write it on a piece of paper. If you're gonna read it, guys, you're gonna cry. I loved it. It's absolutely amazing. Cormac, hold on. Cormac, I think this is McCarthy. I hope the spelling is correct. So let me just give you can you take a screenshot? The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Can you guys see it? Yeah, 1001 Nights. Yeah, it's 1001 Nights. They're fairy tales. They're Arabian fairy tales. Okay, so did you get it? Did you take a screenshot? Okay, cool. So, I'm warning you, this is not an easy book to read. It is very dark. So if you don't like those kinds of stuff, don't read it. But there is a scene in there. Once again, the scene is the father and the son, they have only one gun. And in that gun, they only have 2 bullets. So they already used 1 bullet for some stray guy, and they have 1 bullet left. And they go into that house in the kitchen, okay? And then they look for food, right? They look for cans, anything that's left that's edible, that's not people. And they find this trapdoor in the kitchen, and they open it to go down there to see if there is food. And guess what they discovered down there? You guys can take a few guesses. And I'm not my usual bubbly self because, like I told you, I got hit in the gut by this video that I made for you earlier. I'll be back to my bubbly tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be live here 9 to 10 p.m., the usual time, so I'll be here. Whew, people, yeah, not just people with cut off arms, cut off legs, literally like cattle, stuffed into that dungeon. Not dead, they're half alive because, you know, they're tastier when they're still alive, right? So when they go down, they see that. And one old man can still walk because his leg is not chopped off. He runs after them screaming, help, help. And so they run out of it, a kid, right? A kid is like 11 and his father running. And guess what happens? When they run up into the kitchen and they drop the trapdoor, guess what they see out the window? It was an empty house. And when they look out the window, I'm gonna give you a couple guesses. But you can imagine. I mean, the movie is absolutely terrifying. It's my kind of story though. Yes. Then they see the people who live in the house returning, okay, with ammunition and guns and everything. Yes, cannibals. They're trapped. They have 1 gun with 1, what's it called? Oh my God, not the pistol. Oh my God, what's inside of the gun? I just lost my English. Whatever is the thing that shoots you. Jesus Christ, I can't remember the word, you guys. I remember bullet. I remember patron in, thank you, in Russian, and I could not remember the English. Yes. So they ran upstairs into the bathroom, and the father taught his son, and he puts the gun in the son's mouth, and he says, you know what you have to do. Because he would rather his son dead than these people eat him. You see what I mean? They only have 1 bullet. It is a heartbreaking scene. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen. If you want to, if Viggo Mortensen is in that movie, it's brilliant role that is fantastic. It's one of those books and movies. Do you know how sometimes movies butcher the books? Like the book is fantastic and you watch the movie and you're like, oh my God, it's a piece of crap. Come on, you guys. Come on, you writers. You could have done better, right? But this one, there's some rare gems. Another one is Perfume. If you haven't read Perfume and watched Perfume, holy motherfucking God, like blah. What I don't even have my swearing tonight, you guys. What the fuck? So The Road, brilliant book, movie, brilliant. The reason why I'm telling you this is every single time I go back into my memories, it's like I'm going back into that dungeon with those people in there. That is how horrific it is. And that's why I'm feeling so off. Oh, okay. I have like literally 3 minutes left and I gotta go. But so share how you, Perfume is the book. Yes, it's about the murderer, serial murderer. It is absolutely fantastic the way it was written. And the reason why I'm here is just to tell you that if you're in that same shitty place right now, in that dungeon, in that horror place, you're not alone. I'm in it too. So I'm here to give you my hand and say, hey, grab onto me and I'll hold on to you. Like, we're in it together, you know, and it never goes away. Once you've been through abuse, and especially through as a kid through abuse, how do you remember something you blocked out? Yeah, well, that was the video that I made today. I just made a video on how I remembered how I blocked it out, how I pulled it out through all these animal images. And every single time, you guys, I go back in there, it's just like somebody guts me with a knife. It's like somebody comes at me and just goes, you know, and all of my happiness, all of my cheeriness, all of my, you know, giving you this positive energy and loving you and creating all of this, it just goes out the window. Like, you know, gone, boom, just in an instant. This kind of shit used to knock me out for like a week, couple of weeks. I mean, at one time in my life for 2 years, I was so sick. So now it only takes me a couple hours. I'll be back. Like tomorrow morning, I'll wake up and it will be over. But I just wanted to tell you that I'm trusting you with my story, with my heart, like with my guts right now. I'm trusting you because I hope that this will inspire you to trust me. It's one of the worst things that we experience as abuse survivors, as kids. Our trust is eroded. We never know how to trust people again. We just can't do it. We're so terrified that this trust is going to be kicked out from under us. And it's the worst feeling in the world. And so I'm here for you, hoping that I'll open that door and it's not going to be that horrible dungeon, but it will be filled with light, you know, understanding, love, kindness, and just you feeling fucking safe, you know, for the first time, feeling safe. And that is probably the best gift that we can give each other. So again, I'm here for you. Thank you. It's just you know, I gotta run. I have a meeting tonight at 9. I'll be here, guys, back tomorrow night again at 9 p.m., 9 to 10. We'll do our usual release writing. I want to meet you. I want to meet you guys on Zoom. I'm going to be doing a Zoom this Saturday at 1:30 p.m. We're going to be doing release writing. So if you want to, come, register, and I'll see you. And we'll share this shit, you know, so that we feel better. No, I'm not a psychologist. I'm just a fellow survivor. And I love you all, guys, to death. Thank you for being here for me, okay? I'm going to go. Have a good night. Bye. Bye. See you.